Hey everybody, Mike here. So I thought I'd take a couple minutes real quick, go over this S-Pod panel made by Switch Pros. I've had this in this truck for about 3 years now, and this here is basically the brain or the controller of the unit, and this is just where I chose to mount mine on my truck. Now if you haven't seen these before, this is an 8-position switch, and what's really cool about these is they're not just on-off switches. You can make them to be momentary switches. They've got single pull, double throw, and single pull, single throw features on there as well that you can do. You can change the panel's LED colors, backlighting. It's a really cool switch panel that has a lot of adjustability and functionality to it, all while being like a solid state relay package. So it makes it really easy to hook up all your external devices all to one switch panel. It's a real clean install, and I've been extremely happy with this thing over the last 3 years that I've been running this. Let's take a couple seconds real quick. I'll show you how this thing kind of works and operates. What's really cool about this is it's got an app that's built into it that you can change all the features and configurations through, and then you can actually turn the switches on and off through that app as well. Let's dive into this thing, take a look at it real quick. Try to bear with me. I'll try to keep it as short as possible. So like I said, this is the brain of the unit here. You got your main power feeding into it. This is your input coming from your switch, which is inside the cab. I'll throw that on the screen now to show you what that looks like. And then you've got your other harness here that plugs in, and it's got all your leads to your wires going down. I've got everything mounted in my fender well behind the fender panel, so it's kind of hard to show you, but it's just bare open wires, and you connect those to your power sources for whatever devices you're running. Now, in all honesty, I put this on here with the intention of having a lot more devices on this truck by now, and life happened, and I've only got 3 set up. So what I'm running right now is a set of front strobes, a set of rear strobes, and then I've got reverse lights as well. And what's cool about my reverse lights is there are 2 external triggers on this as well, mounted in here that you can wire into your truck's electrical system. So for my case, when my reverse lights come on, I've got that first memory trigger wire set up to the reverse lights, and every time I put the truck in reverse, it turns on those reverse pods that I've got on the back bumper automatically. You can disable that feature as well, depending on where you're at, if you don't need those lights to turn on all the time. And what's nice about that is I can also manually turn those lights on and off with the switch at the same time. So like I said, a ton of adjustability. So let's dive into this app real quick. I'll go ahead and get my screen recording here while I'm talking. All right, so here we are on the Switch Pros app that you see here, and you can see the 8 switches I've got. I was able to change the switch names like you see here. So the switch 2 is reverse lights, switch 3, front strobes, switch 4, rear strobes, and I've got those other 5 switches available to use anywhere else I want it to be. When I go into my settings app, this is where it starts getting cool. You can go in here and actually hit configure switches. You've got all these different options that you can go through and set up manually through here, and it just saves directly to the brain that's under the hood here. In my case, I don't really use a lot of these features, but they are there available. So if you had an air horn or whatnot and you needed a momentary switch, you could use that just by going into the momentary, selecting your switch, turning that momentary on, and then it acts just as when you push it, when you let go, it disengages. You can actually set this up to where each switch is individually ran off the ignition or the battery power as well. So that's a really cool feature. And then flash strobe, your low voltage disconnects. If your battery goes under a certain voltage, you can disable certain switches as well. And then you got your memory and your master switch. Now let's go into the next page here. LED backlighting. You can switch this thing from red, blue, green, white, or you have the infinite color adjustment as well that you can go into and change and get those switches dialed in exactly how you want them inside the truck. Then obviously, like I told you earlier, you can go in here and switch the names of the switches. That's pretty self-explanatory. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail there. You can change your panel name. In my case, I've just got mine set to what my truck is. You can set a password on this as well. So if you don't want anybody going here messing with your switches, you can do that. You've got output dimming as well. And then you got your auto sleep settings. Now that's kind of handy. You can enable this. You can increase it. I'm not sure how it goes, but I've got mine set out quite a way, 730 minutes. But I also don't want to have too much of a parasitic draw on my battery. So just keep that in mind. And like I said, you can set that as little or as long as you want, and you can disable it altogether. Go into the next page of the settings here. This is where your external triggers and whatnot I was talking about. You got trigger 1, trigger 2, whether you want it on active, high, or low, which switches you want to do what. So in my case, I've got switch 2, that's my reverse lights, and that was good to go. Here's your second trigger. I don't have anything set up to that right now, but you can have that set up to where you hit your horn and it beeps the air horn at the same time if you wanted to. Power up switch status. You can go in here and disable it, enable that. A lot of this stuff, like I said, you can go in here and go in detail. It comes with a nice, actually, let me show you that real quick. It comes with this nice set of instruction manual here. Keep this thing. It's got a lot of good information in it, including wire diagrams. On the back here, you can actually write all your switches and what you did. So it's kind of your legend for your system. Page in here goes your schematic for the wiring, what colors and everything, how they pin out and so forth. Super handy. And then while I'm at it, I'll go and show you this too. So here's this little switch stickers it comes with. So you can go through and all your positions are blank when you get it. And you can grab the stickers that you want to grab off here, put them on your switch panel so you can see what you've got inside the truck when you go to hit your switches. So I really like that. Let's get back to this app now. A couple of things on here. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail on all these to kind of keep the video shorter because it's already going to be kind of long. But you've got output current. You can look at that, mess with that. Set those values 25, 30, 20 amps, whatever it is that you need. Your single pole, double throw, and single pole, triple throw. And you can set which switch you want those values to be at as well. So this app is really awesome. I really love this app. You've also got a couple settings in here that have the dual system connection and your summary of program functions. So take that for what it's worth. And then, like I said, when you go in here and look at this app, it shows you your vehicle voltage as well as a temperature in Fahrenheit or in Celsius. Figure which country you live in, that might become useful. Something cool about that too is you want to wire up manual fans on your vehicle. You could set that to a temperature value as well, where those fans will kick on and off based on the temperature under the hood. That's pretty neat. And then, like I said, you can go in here and you can tap different switches so that different switches come on, and I can do that from outside the vehicle as long as the system is up and active and running and not put to sleep, meaning I basically have ran the truck within the last, couple hours or so, something like that. You can turn those on. So just think of that kind of as a neat thing if you're out on the farm or just out in the parking lot somewhere, you need to kick on some bright lights, your truck's on the other side of the parking lot or something. You can reach in your pocket, grab your phone, hit your switches, and turn those lights on and off. Or if you're on a campground, you need to see real quick, and you got this on you, then have a flashlight. There's so many different scenarios you can look at with this. So this is a really cool system. I haven't really used this thing to the fullest yet. I still have full intentions of trying to add some more accessories to the truck as I've got the time and money to do so. But this thing in the meantime is wired in, ready to go. It's been flawless since the day I put it in. I haven't had a single issue out of this thing. And then honestly, this was one of those things I wish I'd have done sooner. I wish it had been available on the market sooner than when it came out. If you're looking for a way to add switches to your truck, trying to keep your wiring clean and organized inside the truck as well without a bunch of different relays and power sources all running to one battery, kind of like I've got here with my snowplow prep stuff that I've got. I know it needs some work, don't judge. Take a look at this switch pod made by Switch Pros. This is the SP-9100. I think you'll be really happy with this thing just like I've been. That's all I've got for you today, guys. I appreciate you watching. We'll catch you on the next one.